Hi guys, my name is Katie Banks and I am co-founder of the One Small Gathering for Ubuntu in Kansas City, and I'm also a regional coordinator for Kansas along with my partner D-Mike. And I wanted to create this video for all of you who could not attend on Saturday, our very first food and gardening committee meeting. Now our meetup group and small gathering has 5 committees that we have organized, and they are food and gardening, volunteering, festivals and events, family activities, and tiny homes. And so we're kind of in the beginning phases of meeting and creating what we want to do with these committees. So we had our very first one this Saturday for the food and gardening, and Kelly Daniels, who is one of the members of our group, she's actually co-head now of the food and gardening committee along with Amy Renee. She has offered us her 10 acres of old Indian land to use for our gardening, and we're just super excited. This is very much part of the whole Ubuntu model to grow your own food and provide abundance for the community, and to reach even outside of the community to provide abundance. And there's just so many possibilities of what we can do with this land. So we got to go see it for the first time, and it's really, really beautiful. It is, this area is the convergence of 2 rivers, which is it holds really good energy, let's just put it that way. And in wanting to keep with honoring the land and the ancestors of Kelly who lived on this land, we are just really excited to bring our energy and our appreciation to this area and see what we can create there. So in our meeting, one of the things that we talked about was the fact that Kelly is open to us gardening, obviously, on her land, but creating communal permaculture projects. And that could include medicinal gardens, cooking herbs, and larger scale food production. And another thing that we talked about was we had so many ideas of what we could do on this space, and so in order to stay organized, we are going to start breaking it down into subgroups for this committee. And the first subgroup that we came up with is a permaculture design group, and that will be headed by Sean Stanton, who is actually going to be living on the land, which is really awesome because he'll be able to be very intimate with the space, and he is going to create permaculture designs that incorporate sacred geometry into the designs aspect of it, and really paying attention to the energy of the land and honoring that and utilizing it. So we can't wait to see what he comes up with as far as designs and layout. So we took a tour of the land, and some of the things that we learned about it is that the Black Bob Indian chief and his tribe lived on this land. So there's a lot of history, and the feel of the ancestors is still present on this land. And Kelly told us that it stayed very pure also because she actually purchased it from the people who purchased it from the Indians. So, and I believe she said that part of the land closest to the river is federally protected land, and they are going to be growing grasses and wildflowers on it. So that's really beautiful because it has, I think, in the past been farmed, and maybe pesticides have been used, and so that is no longer going to happen. And so we're excited about that aspect of it. So we want to create food forests, and there are some native plants growing already. We could plant more. There is an area that Kelly was talking about doing wetland cultivation. Something that's really helpful is she already has a sprinkler system on the land, as well as a lot of access to water. She has a pond, and that's going to be really helpful in our efforts as far as staying irrigated and all of that. So there's forest as well on this land, and there's wild oats and gooseberries and wild garlic, buckeyes, all sorts of natural things growing, as well as deer and turkey. And this land has a really nice wide open space, as well as this forested part that goes up into some bluffs. And so there's a lot of variety on this area, which is really it makes it interesting and beautiful. So she also has, in addition to her home, several other structures. One she calls a garden suite, and she does wedding venues out there. And she has this beautiful, huge outdoor tent, as well as a teepee. And she has lots of little protected gardens around that we can kind of play around with. And I think she currently has some kale and strawberries and asparagus and different things like that growing there. Or at least they will be growing when it's not freezing outside. But so parklands are at the back of the property, and this is what I was talking about that will be planted with native grasses and flowers this year. And so that's going to be beautiful. I love wildflowers, so that's going to be real gorgeous and just really add to the space. So we have business plans for each project that we will be outlining details and our ideas for. And we're going to be figuring out what actions we need to take and what resources we need to come up with. One of our first action items, which is not in the notes, I may add it into the notes that I'm going to include in this video, but is going to see what seeds our community already has for us to plant and what seeds we want to plant, because we want to be able to grow things for our community, but also for our events. So I'm not sure if I named all our committees yet, but what we have, if I haven't named it already, is we have the Food and Gardening Committee, the Volunteer Committee, the Festivals and Events Committee, Tiny Homes Committee, and the Family Activities Committee. So these are all separate committees that we have formed in order to stay organized, but we are aware that they're all going to work together. For example, if we grow vegetables, we want to be able to use those vegetables to make food for some of our events, to sell for some of our events, as part of us creating abundance within our community and outreach. So as far as future land projects, some things that were listed were building a growing dome on the land, and beehives, having beehives out there, which would be amazing. And Kelly has talked about creating a commercial kitchen space for food production and preparation, as well as an outdoor kitchen, and year-round gardening and food production. So that might look like mushrooms or microgreens. So we're looking into that. And possibly having a farmer's market out there, and different events, and like farm dinners would be really neat to hold out there. So some other future ideas was to have seed starting workshops, and there's a lot we could do with that, incorporating families and teaching children, and even working with our volunteer group as far as maybe growing some stuff that we provide for homeless shelters, or create our own soup kitchen or something like that. So there's just endless possibilities. And our plan is to meet twice a month and just keep brainstorming. We're very much about action at this point. We want to work with inspired action, and It's very important to our group and our community that we don't just talk about what we're doing, but we actually do what we talk about. So with that said, that was what transpired in our very first food and gardening committee meeting. And we will continue to update you guys so you can see what we have going on here in Kansas City with our small gathering, which is not so small anymore. I think we have over 200 people in our group, and we just had our last meetup group last night, which I will be doing a recap on as well. And we have a fairly large 500 square foot space to meet in, and it's getting full. So we are really excited about that, and we will have more to come, more exciting updates, and I appreciate you letting me share. And please, if you are interested and are local, you can join our Ubuntu Kansas City Facebook page, our group. And we also have a page for those that want to see what we have going on but are not local, so you can check that out as well. So until next time, guys, thank you, and look forward to sharing more with you guys later. Bye-bye.